Today I'm teaching you how to make Minecraft YouTube thumbnails. This is basically stuff I wish I knew before when I was a small YouTuber. I'm a Minecraft YouTuber with almost 400,000 subscribers. So if that's not proof in the pudding, I don't really know what would be, to be honest. But yeah, I'll split this video into some beginner information, then some intermediate, and then professional tips. I recommend watching the whole video. So for starters, before I do answer anything, I highly recommend you get really good at Googling, YouTubing, and just kind of searching up how-to tutorials with every little nitty-gritty thing that you can possibly think of. How to change text on Photoshop, how to create renders. Just anything you could possibly think of, everything's free online anyways, so you might as well put it to use. So where I want to begin with this is basically for beginners, you're going to want to figure out your niche. And what a niche is basically like a game or a certain type of video that you would like to make. So there are macro niches and micro niches. My macro niche would be Minecraft as a whole, and my micro niche would be 100-player civilization videos. And so that's kind of how you'd understand that. You can copy macro niche trends. You can also copy micro niche trends. So my advice with this for someone that's just beginning is copy, all right? Copy, copy, copy. I say it 3 times because it's really important to copy because it'll kind of get you through the door. Now think of an instrument. Whenever you first started playing an instrument, the way you kind of get good at it is you start saying or like using that instrument to pull off simple songs, right? Whether it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or whatever it is. Point is, you have to start copying before you can innovate and change it up. So what I like to do is basically just copy and then put a twist on it. So essentially that's what I've done throughout my entire channel. And so whether it is the 100-player Civ stuff or way back then when I used to do the 100-day twists, as you can see, they all look kind of similar to each other, but with a twist. This is my biggest recommendation to you, as the reason why so many people are doing this format is because it works. So it'll speed up your entire learning curve. And so automatically you're off to an amazing start right from there, the moment you decide to copy. And so just to go over some of the more basic stuff, if this is what you were looking for, the programs you'll need for this is some sort of image manipulation tool, whether it's Photoshop, Canva, Photopea, or any other alternative. Way back then, I used to use Gimp, but I heard Photopea is pretty decent as it does cover a lot of what Photoshop offers because Photoshop is a paid program. For this tutorial, I'm using Photoshop to demonstrate things, but you can honestly just pull it off with any other thing. And again, this is where Google comes in. So if you want to clone something that I'm doing on Photoshop onto Photopea, just Google it. Now, in terms of dimensions, you're going to want to stick to 1280 by 720 as that's the maximum resolution that you can make a YouTube thumbnail. A thing that I want to give a tip on is screenshotting. So the way you do that is you hit your Windows key or this little Windows button down here. And then for my example, I'm just going to go ahead and type in screenshot. So as you can see, it automatically goes up to the snipping tool. Go ahead and click the snipping tool and get used to this, okay? Because you're going to be using this for literally anything. And so for this example, obviously it would be me in F5 mode. The way I'd go about this is just simply screenshotting my character. So you can do it through this, you can do it through Minecraft screenshots. It doesn't really matter how you do it. The point is do it, okay? You're gonna need to take screenshots of both your characters, the background, etc. The way people take screenshots of background is they lower their FOV to really low and then hit F1 to basically hide your hand. And then they take a screenshot of it. So if I go over to this image really quick, as you can see, it's literally just a Minecraft image, okay? Like nothing crazy, nothing special to it. It's just a screenshot of a Minecraft world. And so once you kind of got that into your head, you kind of start seeing like it's all just kind of like a little layers game. And I'll be getting to exactly how to do some of this stuff as well. Another huge beginner tip that I can give you is saturation. If you ever wondered how they make these colors or these thumbnails look like they're popping out, it's saturation. So the way to do that is you select the part that you want to saturate. So for this case, it would be the characters in specific. Hit image and then hit adjustments and then hit hue/saturation. This is just how I do it. There's many other ways to do it. And you could just bump it up. And as you can see, it makes it so much more vibrant. So obviously use this to however much you want. Keep in mind, you don't want to go too overboard with it. Another tip I can give you is you can do image isolations. So that's basically just me doing this. And then if you double click this, it'll pump up the layer style. Here I like to do a couple things. So it really just depends. So as you can see, without all of this, it kind of looks bland and it kind of looks like it just belongs there. But that's not what we really want. We want the characters to pop out a little bit. So the easiest way to make them pop out is drop shadow. You can copy these if you'd like. Honestly, just mess around with them. They're all good. Should be fine anyways. And to just make it pop out a little bit more, I sometimes like to use just the inner glow, as it kind of gives this little glowing effect on the inner sides of it. Again, you can just copy my settings if you'd like, or just, I recommend tweaking around with it. A lot of Photoshop is literally you tweaking around with some of these sliders, so just mess around with it until you get something you like. And then the last thing, which is an optional thing, is gradient. As you can see, it gives off a different vibe. And so if that's something that you want, you can go ahead and do that. If not, it's all good. It's entirely up to you and how you want it to look. But the goal is to make the characters pop, or just to make certain elements pop. So these are just the preferred settings that I like to use for this sort of stuff. I also like to saturate the background and anything possible, essentially. Another thing that I wanted to mention is curves, image curves. So that's how you make something brighter. So hit image, adjustment, curves, and as you can see, there's this weird little curve. What I like to do is just hit the middle and just bump it up. So as you can see, it makes it brighter or darker. It's entirely up to you. I usually like to make things brighter as it just looks better on thumbnails, especially in the Minecraft niche where everything's so crazy bright. So with that being said, the other thing as well is the text element. So this is entirely up to you. Sometimes I do recommend, especially YouTuber friends of mine, to not really copy this portion, as it should be kind of like a font that you like to kind of set your own branding with this sort of stuff. So it's entirely up to you. But there are different ways to do it. You can add a drop shadow. The way I like to do it is with these settings. So if I just go ahead, double click, I like to use a little bit of an outer glow to make that little glowy effect. That's really subtle, but really adds to it. And then the drop shadow effect, which instead of it being like a normal drop shadow, I have the spread crazy up. That way it makes like a little outline. So obviously I could do it with stroke as well, but I just like to do it with drop shadow. That's just how I like to do it. The less words, the better, honestly. And this kind of goes back to the first thing that I mentioned. It's all about the niche. Look at what people are doing on your niche. If they have 3 words on the thumbnail, then use 3 words. You don't need to use more than that. You know, just utilize what you know already works. So yeah. And then the final thing I could tell you on the beginner level is just keep it simple. As you can see, even if I zoom out, like, it's very simple. It's not like crazy. It's literally me and my friend on the left with the armadillo, and then me and my friend stacked up, geared up on the right with whatever the hell this thing's supposed to be. You know, day 1, day 100, simple progression from day 1 to day 100, just showcasing that, you know, we actually geared up and survived 100 days. Boom. So it's super straightforward. It's really not hard to kind of tell what the video is straight from just looking at this. And so kind of moving forward to some of the more intermediate tips that I can give you guys. Regarding the niche thing, trend hop. If there's a trend, I recommend trying it out, or even just trying out the format. Let's say you want to do a let's play. Try the 100 days format out for the thumbnail, because what this kind of is, and the way you should see it is like, this is your product, right? So in this case, your product would be the video that you made. And let's say this is a let's play, or it's a stream that's like an SMP or something. Basically, this is your video, aka your content, aka your YouTube video. And the way you package it is the marketing to get eyeballs, okay? And so the easiest way to get eyeballs is to show them something they're already familiar with, which in this case would be this thumbnail format. And so if they see this thumbnail format, they'll think it's a 100-day video, and then they'll get this. And if this is basically serving better than the 100-day video that they assumed it was, so you can give them, because, you know, 100 days is basically a let's play, give them a let's play and then so much more, and outperform basically like what you're offering them within this product, then you're chilling. You know, that's like a really good thing. So I've seen this used tons of times, and I've even used this sometimes as well. So obviously you're not going to get the same, you're usually not going to get the same results as a 100-day video. You're going to get something a little bit less usually, or sometimes explosive. It really just depends. But a good example of this would be if I scroll down, there is a video that was portrayed as a 100-player civilization. Let me go find it really quickly. I believe it's this one. So as you can see, my average views was like, what, 400K, but like at that time it was like 100, 200K. So obviously it like built up over time. But I uploaded this video, which is literally the release of my SMP. I thought it would be super cool to have my community hop onto an SMP, and I called it 100 players simulate a joinable civilization in Minecraft. You know, it's a format that they already click on either way. So I made it like that, boom, instantly got views. And I mean, 67K on a video is still pretty decent, especially since it's just like kind of a live stream that I made into a video. And so that's like a good way to explain this little thing. You're literally just marketing it. So why wouldn't you choose the better marketing that's already assured for other YouTubers? So this kind of leans into a bit of the clickbaiting. Sure, it's clickbaiting, but again, it's just marketing at the end of the day, and nobody's really going to hold you against it. Like, the internet is massive. Nobody cares if you're doing something. You might as well do it as long as you're not hurting people, you know? Another thing you can do is the rule of thirds. I personally have not used or like utilized this very much, but you can look into it. It's kind of more of like a preference thing. It's not as important. Image isolation is important. That's kind of the drop shadow stuff and the glow stuff. Just make sure it's isolated, okay? Just make sure it's not too crowded. You'll see a lot of YouTube videos out there with a very crowded background and there's just so much going on. That's bad. Now, if you're wondering how to get some of the more animated stuff, I also cover that here. So this is not as animated, but it is somewhat animated. And just to show you guys, this is what I mean by animated. It just looks a little bit more cartoonish and usually aims for a little bit of a slightly younger audience. This is the stuff I'm talking about. So the way to pull this off is with two applications. You have a choice here. It's usually Mine-i-Mator or Blender. A lot of people pick Blender, especially for those that were into GFX years prior. But Mine-i-Mator is honestly a super friendly platform. It is free and you can do basically anything you want. Essentially, it's kind of like a Minecraft studio where you can position characters, you can position a blaze. So as you can see here, I positioned the blaze probably for a thumbnail. I don't really remember what thumbnail this was. As you can see, I have another character over here and you can basically just tweak them around and move them around like a little Lego. And so that's how they make these like weird positions that would be really hard to get in the normal game, especially if there's a lot going on. And so this is kind of how they do this stuff. Blender has a lot more lighting options and it has a lot more advanced things, as Blender could be used for non-Minecraft stuff. So keep in mind, Blender has a really big learning curve, while Mine-i-Mator is a lot better for more beginners. Another thing that I want to mention is A/B testing. And what A/B testing is it essentially just tells you which out of
I dare you
multiple thumbnails is better for your channel. So if I go ahead and go to this video and I hit edit video, let me just make sure my revenue data isn't leaked. Perfect. And so if I scroll down, you'll see the thumbnail area. If you click these three dots, you can hit test and compare. So here you can upload 3 thumbnails and then see which one performs the best. So this is what I recommend in more of the intermediate area, because you can make different variations of your thumbnails and see which ones your viewers like to choose. And so obviously you can't see it now because I've already done it in the past, but I had 3 versions of this thumbnail and I tried and tested 3 different variations of it, and this one was the winner. And so this one was the one that was used for the rest of time. So that's some of the intermediate tips that I can give you regarding Minecraft thumbnails. Now, some professional Minecraft thumbnail advice that I can give you is the zoom out method, obviously zoomed out. This is how people will look at it kind of on the phone or on the sidebar. So that's like a good way to tell that. Custom lighting, which can be done on some of the more advanced thumbnails. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So a good example of this would be this thumbnail. And as you can see, there is quite a bit of stuff going on. But the thing I was referring to with custom lighting is essentially shadows. So I think a good example of this would be the side of his thing right here, some of this. And so you can kind of create your own custom shadows that are like on and off. And essentially the way you do that is you'd make a selection, color this black, lower the opacity and fill. And then that's kind of how you'd make the shadow. And then you can move them around. You can also mess around with this little feature over here. So if you click something, you can choose some of these, mess around with that. And that's kind of how that's done. And that way it gives you full control over what's shown, what's not really that bright, and just gives you full control over that sort of stuff. Another thing is also custom models. I'm talking about non-human models that you can create using Blender or Blockbench. I'm not going to go really too in depth in that. That is a very advanced thing. And again, Google and YouTube literally is your best friend when it comes to this sort of stuff. Now, a part that I see a lot of people not talking about, and this is something I had to ask my friends about, my YouTuber friends, because I didn't know how to do any of this stuff, is hiring. So this is probably the most advanced thing that I could teach you when it comes to Minecraft thumbnails. This is especially useful if you're trying to scale. So essentially what it is hiring someone to make the thumbnail for you. And why this is useful is because not only is that their main skill that they're basically giving you in exchange for money, it's also just something that they're probably better at than you are and ever will be, because as a YouTuber, you do multiple jobs at a time. So you're kind of great at many things, but you're not like crazy good at one thing. You get what I'm saying? And so you kind of want to delegate that. That's probably one of the earliest things I would recommend delegating, as marketing will basically take your channel to another level and save you a bit of time. And so the easiest way to do this, in my opinion, is especially for beginners, Fiverr, as it's very easy to do. Just create an account, literally search up Minecraft thumbnail, and you'll get so many people that you can choose from, and you can see their previous work. Like, it's so simple to do. So obviously you can look through this, but let's say you're already past that. Let's say you've already tried your fair share of people on Fiverr and you're looking to bump up or step up your game. I recommend Twitter, okay? End of the day, Twitter is a good place to go and find people that you need for a certain thing. So just go right up here, thumbnail artist, go ahead and hit enter, and then you'll literally get a bunch of people that you can choose from. So I would first find a Minecraft YouTube thumbnail artist. That's the first thing I would do. And so if you just scroll, boom, 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 as you can see, there's one over there, and you could just kind of keep searching until you find some. Then check that person's following and find more people. Then just start asking people for their prices. That way you have this huge collection. So it's essentially cold calling. You'd have this huge collection of people and you know all their prices. Find someone that fits your price and fits what you're looking for and work with them. Literally, their entire goal is to make money from you. And so they will respond to you. And if they don't, it's probably because they have too many clients or they're just busy with other things. And some of them are kind of part-time. But the friend-to-friend method has been the best for me, which is like you meet a thumbnail artist, you hire them, you work with them for a little bit, and then you ask them if they have anybody that they know that's also a thumbnail artist. And the people I've found off like the friend of friends are usually some of the people I hire long term. And my theory behind it is because they kind of suck at marketing. They're amazing at what they do, but they suck at marketing. So they also are very cost efficient because they don't price themselves too high. And so those are some tips I can give you. I hope this was helpful in any way, shape, or form. And if it was, consider subscribing and have a good one.